My parents spent my $100,000 inheritance. Now they want forgiveness. Some families protect a child's inheritance like a sacred trust. Others treat it like an emergency fund for their other children's mistakes. And when you ask for it back, they call you unforgiving. I'm 25, the youngest of 3 siblings. My parents are owners of a grocery store that was passed down through my father's side for generations. My grandparents on both sides left each of us a $100,000 college trust fund. My sisters blew through theirs by 20, dropped out, became single moms, moved back home to work in the family store. I was the only one that didn't work for them. I landscaped summers, saved $20K, and got a partial scholarship. I planned to graduate debt-free and buy a home by 22. At 18, I asked my parents to release my trust, just like my sisters had done. At dinner that night with my nieces at the table, they dropped the bomb. They'd spent $95,000 of my money. On what? Their grandkids' daycare, living expenses, and my sister Gloria's DUI lawsuit. None of it went to me. My dad said, "We just need you to think about your family." I replied, "Everyone benefited from this money, except the person it was meant for." Inheritance isn't optional when it's yours. It's only optional when someone else decides to spend it. I moved out that week, finished college on savings and grit, built a landscaping business that now employs 6 people. 2 years ago, my lawyer checked the trust balance. It wasn't the $5K they claimed. It was $3,456.13. They kept spending. Over the years, they've sent letters, gifts, and invitations. I returned them all. Now I'm getting married next month. My fiance wants me to close this chapter. But here's the truth. My sisters came to my business with my nieces, crying, saying they regret their part. My dad admitted he covered for my mom because she feared I'd disown her if she took the blame alone. He cried for 3 minutes straight, jealous of my relationship with my future father-in-law. I forgave my sisters, invited them and my dad to dinner. But I told my mom, bring a check for $100,000 if you want to talk to me. She hasn't. You can't rebuild trust on a ledger that's still in the red. The trust fund wasn't just money, it was intergenerational intent. By redirecting it to cover others' liabilities, the parents didn't just spend assets, they invalidated the grandparents' choice. The demand for forgiveness before repayment assumes emotional closure overrides financial accountability. And the phrase, think about your family, becomes an override code for bypassing individual rights. True reconciliation requires both parties to acknowledge the debt, not just to hurt. One-line snapshot. If you withdraw funds from a beneficiary's trust without consent or legal authority, that's not family support. That's conversion, the civil form of theft. Another hip bone. Ownership doesn't expire because someone says we're family. The trust was his. The debt remains. What part of family ever meant fairness when your inheritance was treated as disposable but your forgiveness is mandatory? Is it the decades of silence, the missing $96,000 plus, or the expectation that love should cover a debt they refuse to repay?